Hey folks, thanks for coming back. I felt like being outside today, so I don't know what the audio's like, but not a big deal. The video's not about me. Listen, I got feedback about this fast flyer situation and this whole bug and bird debate, and the feedback was essentially like, you're not making your case, and these things are bugs and birds, and your videos aren't awesome. And, you know, that's fine. But what I do agree with about that feedback is that I didn't do justice to the bug and bird issue with these fast flyers initially. I know why that is. It's because I tried to redirect people to the Custodian File YouTube channel so I wouldn't have to recreate the wheel, because they have a huge database of data and evidence, videos. Anyway, I sort of skipped over it, thinking that I could rely on their work rather than doing it again myself. And I kind of got called out on it, and I don't disagree. So I put in the work, and that's what this video is. So, you know, here it is again. And I'll tell you too, I got a little worked up at the end. And it's only because we put a lot of time and effort into these things. And then when the response is a general vague dismissal about bugs and birds, it's not awesome. So that may have come through a little bit. And, I'm not sorry about it. That's just part of how lively debate goes. So anyway, check this out. Thanks again for your time, and hopefully this one resonates with you more.
So here are the fast flyers in slow motion first. There are not a lot of frames to these because they're just moving very fast. And so what we're going to do is take a screenshot of each one of these frames and take a look at it. But first, here it is in real speed. So you got a sense of how fast these things are. So this is frame number 1, frame number 2, and so on. There's an interesting frame number 3. And then I believe there's 2 more for this first clip. And that's the last one. So in that first clip, this is what we're dealing with. And some of them look like they have sort of wings. It looks bulky, and obviously the middle one kind of speaks for itself. Now here's the second clip. Also in slow-mo first, coming from 334 up to 930. And yeah, so we're going to do the same thing with this one, which is take each one of these frames and capture it and look at it to see if we can figure out, what they are, right? So there's nothing else to do if there's a dispute as to what these things are. We just have to get in close and look at them. And obviously that's real time. You can see how fast they are. So that's the first. And I don't need to talk you through these. Obviously, just it's each frame. And what I will say is each one is slightly different, which is interesting. And then there's the last. So again, same thing. These are the 5 frames that we captured from that quick video. It looks like, 2 of the 5 might have wings. 3 of the 5 don't. Yeah, this is what is captured. So it is what it is. And this is the last one. I want to go back to this one because of the color and the shape. And we see this a lot, and it's kind of a metallic look. But you see here, this is from another capture we secured. But, birds require 3 things, basically. They have to have beaks, feathers, and wings. And, you see this metallic look to these things, and it's, I don't know where the plumage is, I'll tell you that. But more importantly, look at this. So this is one of those. Obviously, we don't see any wing structure, any tail feathers, any beak, anything like that. But it's obviously way too close and not in focus. But that's the reason that this one is included. This is what a foreground image of something looks like when you're recording something else. So we were observing this plane, and this fast-flying brown bean popped in for one frame, all of one frame, and clearly it was far closer to us than the plane. And that is what the foreground, a foreground incursion looks like. So circling back around now, what we've captured are these images. I mean, this is what we're dealing with, and they're all the same thing. They just change. Think of it like a cuttlefish. You wouldn't look at one picture of a cuttlefish and say all cuttlefish look like this all the time. That wouldn't make any sense because we know cuttlefish are different. These things are different. They morph. So, yeah, that's just what they do. And then they get way up in the sky. And so we know now, looking at this, that is not a foreground incursion. Obviously, this is thousands of feet in the air because we've zoomed and scrubbed. And this is what we capture them doing, coming in and out. So to say that that's anything in the foreground is a little odd to us. To me, it seems to speak for itself. And, also, if it's not, and if these things are bugs and birds, then do the work and let's see some taxonomy. I mean, what are they? If they're not what we're saying they are, then what are they? What type of bug? What type of bird? What are their home ranges? How high do they go? Let's see some photographs. These are detailed analysis presentations. So if the retort is something general like bugs or birds, it doesn't seem like we're having the same conversation. If I see a coyote and somebody says, no, that's not a coyote, that's just a dog, my first thought would be, okay, well, what kind of dog is it? Because it looks like a coyote. What is it, a bull mastiff? Is it a cane corso? Is it a pug? I wouldn't just get away with saying it's a dog. Somebody would take me to task and say, you need to be a little more specific than just a dog, buddy. Let's see some pictures. What size is this dog? All of those types of things. Yet with this, why? Because they're small and fast, we're all of a sudden relieved of the obligation to think with specificity? No, that's not how this works.